Shalom Aleichem. We are learning the Farbrengen, the Sicha Beshalach Gimel, which is based on two Farbrengens, Tavshin Lamed Zayin and Tavshin Lamed Gimel. Tavshin Lamed Gimel is mainly the last part of the Sicha, Levu Alayva Nipeidea. And the Rebbe said over there certain oisius that are just incredible that definitely each and every one of us can take. So there was a Farbrengen on Shabbos Bereshis. And the Rebbe says like this: Shabbos is higher than the world, therefore you're not allowed to work. And that connects to what we spoke about in the previous Farbrengen. That's in Chasteda, that Hashem says, borrow and I'll pay back, which is against beyond nature. And the Rebbe says, take note that this is a bigger chiddush than what Hashem says about Shemitah, that I'll bless the tefillah of 6 years, that it will help for the 6th year, 7th year, and 8th year, because it takes a while to plant. Why? Because the bracha in the fact that tefillah goes for 3 years is not so amazing. You're not used to it. Why? It says in the Torah, Pashas told us, he found 100 times, not only 3 times, 100 times, and that was in a Shana Kasha, a Eretz Kasha, Shana Kasha, etc. Now, because it was like this by Yitzchak, so obviously it could be by every Yid, like the Avtzon explains in Torah, that the B'chinas Ha'avos, the level of Avos, is a Yerusha to all the descendants in all generations. B'chinas Ha'avos, tzadich liyos b'chal adam, has to be by every person. So, Me'er Sha'adim, yeah, Shalishan. And the Chiddush of Shmas HaShemitah is that every Yid, regardless of their situation, is betach, is confident in their bracha, the Eibishter, and therefore they're able to do Shemitah without any work. But even though that's a thing that Shalom Ma'ila Miteva, ultimately a Yid still has to plow their field in the 6th year, and then it works for 3 years. But there's a bracha that a Yid has to do nothing. On the contrary, he has to spend. Lavu alayv ani peideh. Borrow and I'll pay you back, even though he has no money. And he doesn't even have a business. The Eibishter says, I'll pay. Then the Rebbe went into the Sicha about the explanation of the Alter Rebbe's words in Shulchan Aruch, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yamtzi Lo Lifnaya, etc. Then the Rebbe learned an incredible Hayah, which doesn't necessarily come out in the Muga Sicha, but it's worthy of focus. What's the inyan of Bitachon? The Rebbe says he learned an amazing thing about Bitachon. What's the inyan of Bitachon? That a Yid has to have Bitachon in the Eibishter and rely on him in Ganzen. But that is only B'negea you. I have to have Bitachon in the Eibishter. However, B'negea Zulas, B'negea the other person, in other words, when I'm not thinking about myself, when I'm thinking about the other person, I have to be confident that I have to make sure that my friend will not lose money. As it says, only if the other person has items, then you could take a mashkin and borrow it, and then the Eibishter will give him money. Because he's giving a mashkin, so the malva will make sure that he doesn't lose money. But if you don't have anything to borrow, you don't have anything to give, don't borrow. In other words, Hashem only guaranteed the Levi. He didn't guarantee the malva. So the malva might get messed up. So if you don't have anything to give, the malva is going to lose money. If you gave something, you gave a chair, so the malva got $100 worth of a chair, at least he has $100. And you'll get your money back. But the malva might never get his money back. So therefore you can't do this on the expense of the malva. In other words, the Rebbe says, when a Yid wants to give a lot of tzedakah and be confident that Hashem will give him, that's all good. But that's when you have money. But to borrow money for others to give tzedakah, that's ridiculous. Vaisloi. And like it says in Sefer Chassidim, it's an important principle in general to remember. If you owe money, don't give a lot of tzedakah until you pay back your debt. So you can't say that. Yeah, you borrowed money, you made a commitment in your shul, whatever. Pay back your debt before you sit there being generous. Now, it's not understood. Tzedakah is the biggest thing. So much so that whoever can give tzedakah and doesn't, it's mamish the opposite of enlivening a poor person. So when a person has an opportunity to give tzedakah, even if he doesn't have money, why shouldn't he borrow to give? Malva Hashem chayin da. Hashem will take care of you. And Hashem will give the malva. So therefore, you could give tzedakah. Over here it says Hashem will pay back the malva. Says the Alter Rebbe, that's only when you get yourself. When you have money, give tzedakah on a cheshbon, and don't worry. But when it comes to somebody else's money, in other words, you're borrowing somebody else's money, you can't have bitachon that Hashem will take care of it. That's not fair. Midas habitachon can't come on the expense of somebody else. Says the Rebbe even more so. So to bnegeya l'tzedakah ruchnis. When you're dealing with another yid, when we demand from a yid to do tzedakah beruchnis, to go and bring a yid closer to Yiddishkeit. So you can tie now. Why does he have to work with other yid? Ein lanu lishoin el avinu shebashamayim. And Hashem will take care of his children, everything they need. Why do I have to spread Torah in Yiddishkeit? And I have to rip myself away to go and travel who knows where until a year that's at the edge of the belt. And let me sit in my place, daven avodas hatfilah, limud Torah, kiyum mitzvahs, behiddur. And don't worry, I'll make a krecht. I'll make a oy on the fact that the other yid is not holding in his madrega. I'm not going to do nothing. I'll have you talk to the Eibishter. It's a kol yachal. He can do everything he wants. I'm sure he'll take care of the yid, and then he'll make sure lo yidach and nidach, and nobody's going to get lost. Am Yisrael, he'll be fine. Zok menem, on this you tell him loy kachi aseder. Azoy is to say that. That's not the way things work. You have betachim, and that's about yourself. But about the other yid, stop having betachim on his back. You have to rely on the Eibishter. But this is what Tunas Rufus said to Rabbi Akiva, the Medrash. If Eibishter loves poor people, why doesn't he give them parnasa? If Hashem wants that the ani beruchnius will have everything, let him give it itself. Why do I have to go schlep? And you could say even the explanation, you could even ask the question bigger, says the Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe says in the Gerish HaKodesh, Kol HaKodesh, on the statement of Chazal, Kol HaKodesh, whoever gets angry, kill Avid Avodah Zarah. Why? Because at the moment of the chaos, you lost your emunah, the emunah left. Because had you believed that Hashem had it, you would not be angry at all. Now, even though the other person's a Baal Bechira and he's hitting him, cursing him, etc., but that's that person's problem. The decree that this person will get punished happened regardless of who's going to punish him or who's going to cause him tzaras. If the person has to receive the punishment, let him get it anyway. And because it's impossible that from his bad choice anything will lack. You see, because everything is orchestrated by the Eibishter. And if he's not supposed to get what he's supposed to get, then nothing can help. In other words, everything's dictated by the Eibishter, right? That's why you can't get angry. So why am I interfering? So we say to him, the reason that this Geras HaKodesh was written was that the person shouldn't get angry. Angry, yeah. But when don't get angry, but go help whatever the person needs. And the fact that you have to have Bitachon Hashem, Bitachon is Azeh Agute und Shein Ezach. It's a good and beautiful thing. It's one of the fundamentals of Emunah. But Negel Lepoil, when it comes to reality, when there's another yid that's lacking, you have the obligation to do mitzvah tzedakah beruchnius and to go and help them with everything they need. And when you do this, then Chazal say, you literally gave the ani back his life. Even though the Rebbe says, we know that the key of Tchias HaMesim is one of the three keys that was not given to human beings. This, says the Rebbe, is a beautiful kudah. You're giving you the opportunity, the schus, the opportunity, the privilege to give life to the poor person. You're literally, when you're Mechayim Mesim Beduchnius, you're getting the key. Quite an amazing Nikudah. And the Rebbe continued on in the Farbrengen in Shabbos Parshas Bereishis Tavshin Lamed Gimel. So we should all have the bitachon and we should also have the action.